My name is Rachel Bessler, and I'm the Public Service Director for the City of Knoxville. I just want to reassure everybody that we are fully stocked on our supplies of salt and brine. We started treating roads on Thursday, and we're continuing that through today. We're applying a brine pre-treatment, and it effectively treats up to the first inch of snow. It also helps prevent snow and ice from attaching to the pavement itself. Salt will be used to treat any snow or ice accumulations that we see, as well as drying the streets on the back end of the storm. As we mentioned, the cold temperatures coming up, we want to make sure the streets are as dry as they can be. Once we get below about 20 degrees, salt and brine are not quite as effective. We have to apply more and more to get the same amount. So we want to dry the streets out as soon as possible. In terms of staffing, we have 24 large plows and spreaders that will be clearing the streets, as well as several response vehicles to any other situations that come up. We have 75 CDL operators ready to handle the streets, plus additional staffing to handle other non-street related emergencies. Also our operators, if we start seeing more down trees and things like that, they can also operate the knuckle booms and the chainsaws to make sure that our streets are cleared. Just want to remind everybody, please stay off the roads unless it's an emergency. In the storms of 2024, people they had to abandon their vehicles or drive them off into the ditch, and that prevented our crews from being able to access and treat the roads successfully. So please just stay in unless it's an emergency. And just thanks to everybody for your cooperation throughout this, and please be safe. Up next, we have Assistant Chief Wilbanks with KFD.
Hey, good morning. I'm Mark Wilbanks with the Knoxville Fire Department. The biggest thing that the Knoxville Fire Department is doing right now is we are still making preparations for the incoming possible storm situations, and we are making sure our fire stations are ready to go, all of our fire trucks, our chains, and that kind of stuff are in place. Our crews are making preparations to decide if they need to stay through the weekend and what they'll need to do. We are fully staffed on each shift through the weekend, so we're in pretty good shape as far as that goes. One of the biggest things that we have to think about is if we have to go out on an emergency. So we want everybody to really practice good home safety techniques, using good heater safety techniques, not walking away from candles, not walking away from things that they're using to heat their home. And one of the biggest things is if you have a power loss and you're using a generator, make sure that generator is not inside your home, it's outside, you're using good extension cords. And of course, if you do need to heat your home, don't use kerosene or propane heat inside. That's only for outside. Those are designed for well-ventilated areas. So make sure you have something for an emergency backup heat. That's about all I have for you guys. I'll introduce Scott Erling from the Knoxville Police Department.
Good morning. Thank you for being here, and thank you for all the work that you all are going to do over the coming days to keep our community informed and safe. We really appreciate that, and appreciate you for being here to help spread that message. From the standpoint of the Knoxville Police Department, we're going to stand up an operations center in addition to what Colin already mentioned, the EOC that will be operational over that Chemo will have activated. We'll have an operations center open here to manage our resources and response. We plan as of right now to have that operations center open and active from 5 a.m. till midnight each day throughout this event, and we will adjust accordingly if the situation deteriorates or worsens. We will evaluate the conditions throughout this event and transition to the snow plan if needed. In that event, if we do have to activate the snow plan, we'll notify the public that we have done that. That would be our officers pairing up in two-person cars and more closely monitoring calls for service and divert some non-emergency calls to other resources. Of course, as already has been said here, is I know this weather system has been really perplexing for some of the forecasters, but we really expect this to be more of an icing event at this point. And the significant icing is our greatest concern, hazardous road conditions that could create, as well as power outages. If there are significant impacts, I want to encourage everyone to avoid the roads if at all possible. If you can stay home, stay home. If you absolutely must go out, then please do so and drive slowly and attentively, and don't take any unnecessary risk. Also, as Mayor Kincannon already mentioned, check on your friends. Right now is a good time to check on your friends and your neighbors, and just take care of all of those people you know in your lives. We could see a wide variance. One thing we learned from the weather briefing yesterday is we could see a really wide variance in impacts in different parts of the community. There could be parts of the city that are impacted much more heavily than others. So it might be fine at your house, but in other parts of the community it might be a lot worse. So really important to check on your friends and neighbors and understand that before you go out and hit the roads. And as a reminder from our standpoint, the men and women of our department are here to help. If you need anything at all, anybody in the community needs anything at all, we're here to help. Don't hesitate to give us a call. And I think we're prepared and ready to go. I'll throw it next to Aaron Reed.
Thank you. I'm Erin Reed, head of the Office of Housing Stability. I'm here to address concerns about unhoused individuals and households during this time. Friday night, tonight, we do have warming centers open to supplement the capacity at Knox Area Rescue Ministries and other partners. Saturday night, given the potential difficulty of travel, we have consolidated warming center operations into the North Broadway corridor. We have several partners who are opening up space for about 600 individuals. We think that that will cover the number of people who will be seeking shelter at that time. They will all be indoors. As of Sunday night, all of our warming center locations will be back up and running, or are planning to be, depending on whether travel is possible. And I'm going to hand it back over to Darren. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for the updates. As you can see, we have a winter storm coming, but we are as ready as we can be, and we trust that our neighbors across the community will, again, be checking on neighbors who might not be able to get out to the grocery store or shovel or salt their sidewalks. So just look after your neighbors. I guess if we're going to have a winter storm like this, I'd rather have it start on a Saturday than a school day. So we're really grateful that this won't affect school for today, and we'll see how things shake out over the weekend. And I'm happy to answer any questions, or if other people have questions for individuals represented here, we're ready. You have any questions?
Can I check my mic, because it's not working just before any questions are asked?
Yeah, I don't know
That
which
makes
one is
sense.
yours.
Sorry, thank
yeah,
you.
Go for it.
Can I use your
That's an easy question. Any other questions?
Sorry.
Oh, wait, you want to use your mic?
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's like we can't hear anything. Testing. It sounds. Oh no. Yeah, you're right. I don't know how to fix that.
It is a nice thing that we have the public safety complex. The KEMA, police, fire are all right here. We have this media room to make sure we can keep you all informed. We're really grateful for that. As I was driving up here, I saw the streets were brined. You can see it. You can see, and that's what brining looks like. Just a little orange on asphalt. That's a salty water mix that makes it so things that melt quickly, and keep the streets as dry as possible.
Why don't we go ahead on with questions, and you can remind your viewers this is streaming on the City of Knoxville's Facebook page.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
What are some of the primary concerns that the city is aiming to address, not just before, but during and after the storm?
Well, we want to make sure that our first responders can deal with emergencies, whether that's addressing like a tree that falls down over a road or on a person's house, or helping our police and fire address emergencies, a car crash, getting people to hospitals. So that's our top priority. Just making sure that the most essential things that need to happen, that people can get life-saving treatment. So we're really focused on that, and that's why we do encourage people to limit non-essential trips and check on their neighbors, and then keep the roads clear so our public service crews can brine and clear them, and that means our first responders can get to what they need to get to.
I have a question about warming centers. So how many total beds are available for this weather event? I know you said Saturday there's enough for 600 individuals. I also wanted to know how many warming centers total will be open throughout this weather event, and we can answer that. I'll ask my final question after.
Aaron, you want to come up and get to those specifics, please?
It's going to depend on the night. We have been consolidating operations when we think travel is going to be difficult, to minimize the number of volunteers that are trying to get around town. Tonight, we have 2 warming centers open, with a 3rd location ready to open should capacity be needed. For Saturday night, all warming center activity is consolidated to that North Broadway corridor with Knox Area Rescue Ministries, Volunteer Ministry Center, Salvation Army, and other partners. As of Sunday night, all 5 of our warming center locations are expected to be back up and running, contingent upon road conditions, of course.
And how many volunteers would you say you have?
Each one of the sites has dozens of volunteers. I don't have an exact number to give you, but I do know that this year we have had an immense volunteer response and have been so grateful to the community for that.
And my final question, what's been the partnership between Knox County been like for unhoused individuals who might be outside of city limits?
So, in general, in times of very difficult weather, we try to communicate with homeless outreach teams, first responders, hospitals, and ask them to encourage unhoused folks to get somewhere where they have access to public transit. Knoxville Area Transit has been one of our most important partners. They are providing free transportation any afternoon and evening that warming centers are open, starting at 3 p.m. And in the mornings, they provide, they've been providing us with hundreds of single ride bus passes for anyone who's at a warming center who needs to get somewhere else. So in terms of out in the county, simply because there's no public transit, it's a lot more difficult.
I just have a question for the city. How are you guys prepping for the extreme cold that follows this storm?
Well, we're pre-treating all of our streets. Level 1 and level 2 have already been done, and I think level 3 is happening now, and that will help, hopefully, even if the weather, the temperatures drop considerably, that will hopefully keep the ice and snow from adhering. Of course, there are limits to that. If it stays really cold a really long time, we don't know how much precipitation there will be, and that's why we're encouraging folks to stay home, and that's why we also have a plan for unhoused folks to stay inside so they stay safe too. So that's our plan. Again, limitations of temperature and amount of precipitation are unknown, but we are, again, as prepared as we can be. The streets have all been pre-treated. I've noticed also on state routes, such as Broadway, those have also been pre-treated by TDOT. But the safest course is stay home unless you have an essential trip to make.
Any other questions?
Are there any concerns about people losing power, and what advice do you have for people who might lose power during the storm?
Well, I think that Mr. Ickes gave advice like to be prepared, charge up your electronics today, have blankets, have flashlights, have those sort of things already. And also know that I know KUB has their line operators up, ready to go and do the repairs as fast as possible. And just know that when the power's out, they know right away, and they're already trying to prioritize and fix those and repair those as fast as possible, and they will prioritize it based on the most acute need. But the best thing is to be prepared, check in on your neighbors, have flashlights, blankets, and charge things up tonight. And that hopefully any power outages would be of a limited duration. KUB has a lot of information on their webpage. They will also be participating in the operations center. The emergency operations center has our utility entities out there. So if there's a power line outage, something across the street, police and fire will be there to make sure people don't go across that street while the line workers are operating. And they work round the clock, all night long, all weather. So just try to be prepared and be patient.
Any other questions?
What's the plan for CAT services?
CAT's operating as normal unless things unfold differently, and we'll keep the public posted in the media through the city website and communications.
We saw that CARM is offering rides. Could you tell us more about those rides? Is that for anyone who wants one?
CARM does offer some transportation. There are also a number of local churches who have stepped up to provide transportation. The level of that is going to really depend on the amount of ice on the roads, especially with church vans. They really cannot travel if there's ice on the road. So there will be some level of transportation assistance. I know that for sure. I just can't tell you how much that is until we know how much ice there is.
Thank you. I have a question about the emergency operating centers. Just to clarify, there's only one or is there two?
We will be staffing the Knox County Emergency Operations Center, and that is the point of multi-agency coordination for the entire city and county. As Scott mentioned, the Knoxville Police Department is also standing up their operations center, and I'm sure he can provide more details if you'd like them about KBD specific.
Yeah, I just wanted to know how many folks are staffed for the KBD EOC.
Yeah, sure. Well, we'll have staffing in the EOC, which again, Colin has already detailed in terms of that's a collaboration with all the numerous agencies that are involved in the response to any severe weather event. Our operations center is where we're specifically focusing on what's happened in our response, managing our resources, what are the challenges in the environment or in the, out in the community that we can respond to. So we will have staffing in the EOC run by KEMA as well as our own operations center to just more specifically manage our own response. Does that help clarify that?
Yes, thank you.